In a dense, green forest where ancient trees stood tall and rivers glistened under the warm sunlight, there roamed a majestic lion named Leo. Leo was no ordinary lion. His mane shone like golden fire, and each step he took radiated strength and confidence, casting a quiet authority over all the forest creatures. He was a proud and dignified ruler of his domain, his gaze fierce yet wise. But little did Leo know that he was being watched from afar by the keen eyes of a tiny, fluttering creature. Hera, a small but spirited hummingbird, observed Leo's every move with admiration. She had never seen such a magnificent being in her tiny world and was drawn to his strength, almost as if the lion's majesty filled her heart with courage. Hera was a delicate creature, her wings shimmering in the sunlight as she hovered near a flower that bloomed with vibrant colors. She sipped sweet nectar, but her mind was captivated by thoughts of Leo. The spark in her eyes reflected the awe and respect she felt. To her, Leo was like a force of nature, mighty, powerful, and yet, somehow approachable. Hera couldn't help but feel an unusual connection to the lion, an attraction to his grandeur that made her want to know more about him. One peaceful morning, the forest was suddenly shattered by Leo's mighty roar. His roar was so powerful that it echoed across the trees, rippling through the forest like thunder. Birds scattered from the treetops, and small animals hurried to hide. Hera was startled, her tiny wings trembling. But instead of flying away, her heart was filled with curiosity. There was something about that roar, it was both frightening and thrilling. Despite her small size and the fear she felt, Hera decided to stay. A quiet courage began to grow in her, urging her to approach the mighty lion. Summoning all the bravery she had, Hera slowly flew closer to Leo. Her heart pounded with both fear and excitement as she drew near, her delicate wings making a soft, rhythmic sound. Leo, who was accustomed to smaller creatures staying far from him, noticed her approach and looked at her with a hint of curiosity, almost surprise. He let out a low growl, a warning that usually scared away any intruder. But Hera's sparkling eyes and the innocence in her gaze softened his expression. Here was a creature who, despite her size, showed no fear. This tiny bird was bold enough to come close, and Leo found himself oddly moved. With a cheerful chirp, Hera greeted Leo, her voice bright and full of warmth. Leo was taken aback. He was unused to anyone speaking to him in such a simple, friendly way. At first, he was puzzled by this tiny creature's audacity, but soon he found her endearing. Her presence was refreshing, and he secretly admired her bravery. As the days passed, an unusual but heartwarming friendship began to bloom between Leo and Hera. Every morning, as the first light of dawn filled the forest, the two friends would meet under a large, leafy tree. Leo would share grand tales of his adventures, his voice booming like distant thunder, while Hera would chirp her little stories, recounting her tiny, magical world. Their laughter and camaraderie echoed in the forest, surprising all the creatures who witnessed this unlikely bond. One fateful day, the peace of the forest was disrupted by a sudden, ominous snap. Leo had unknowingly stepped into a hunter's hidden trap. His paw was tightly caught, and with each attempt to free himself, the trap only tightened further. He roared in agony, his mighty voice filled with pain and frustration. The sound echoed across the trees, reaching Hera's ears even from a distance. Her heart raced as she realized that her friend was in trouble. Without hesitation, Hera flew as fast as her tiny wings would allow, her mind filled with worry. When she arrived, her heart sank at the sight of Leo struggling in the trap. She could feel his pain, and although she was small, her spirit was strong. Hera began circling around him, determined to help, though she knew her size was no match for the trap. With unwavering courage, Hera approached the metal trap and, without a second thought, started pecking at it with her tiny beak. She flapped her wings furiously, determined to break the trap, refusing to give up. Her tiny actions may have seemed insignificant, but they were driven by a heart filled with loyalty and friendship. After what felt like an eternity, Hera's efforts began to loosen the trap. Slowly but surely, the clasp weakened, and with one last push from Leo, he finally freed his paw. Exhausted yet grateful, he looked at Hera with profound appreciation. This small bird, with her unyielding spirit, had done what no other creature dared to do. Leo took a deep breath, the pain in his paw fading, and gazed at Hera with newfound respect. He had always believed that strength was his alone to command, but today, Hira had shown him that true courage and kindness came in all forms, big and small. Her bravery had taught him a lesson he would never forget. From that day forward, Leo and Hira became a symbol of friendship throughout the forest. Their story was told in whispers among the animals, reminding everyone that kindness and courage are boundless and that even the smallest among us can make the biggest difference. Their legend carried on, inspiring all to believe that no act of kindness, however small, is ever wasted.